official introduction, just a bit that I got to know about his story is that he suffered and struggled with addiction for about 14 years, but the Lord set him free. And today he's talking about Jesus and testifying of the goodness of God. And he had to come so that to let everyone know that there is hope in Christ Jesus. So I encourage you to send in those questions and comments that you would love me to read out to him on 20933 0717 400 555 is our WhatsApp number, and at Hope FM Live social media platforms. Okay. Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Thank you, Sharon. Good morning.
Good to have you.
Good to be here.
You know, because of where I come from, your second name is giving me trouble. And then I have a cold. How do you say?
It's Mabinda.
Mabinda.
Mabinda is Maasai.
Oh, Mabinda is Maasai?
Yes, it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. It's nice to have you.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Would you please just make an introduction of yourself?
My name is Jeff Sifomo. I'm 32 years old. I'm a former alcoholic, recovered alcoholic, though still in recovery. It's a process. It's a lifelong process. Though now I am sober, I'm going to hit 1 year, exactly 1 year tomorrow, October 29th. And it's all because of God. It's all because of Jesus. He saved me from addiction. He set me free. And I'd like to share my story. Mm-hmm. And hopefully it will give hope to those who are still stuck in that life. And it will tell people and show people that there's hope. And that Jesus sets free. He breaks all chains. Mm-hmm. And I hope this will be a life-changing moment for the listeners out there.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Jeff, and welcome. Thank you for coming once again and even gathering the courage to come and tell the world, hey people, I was not in very good shape, but look, Jesus has done it for me.
That's true.
So where did it all start? Okay, first of all, how was it for you growing up?
I was born to two normal parents, very supportive, my parents, I was born in Nyeri to two very able parents who took me to a good private school in Nyeri. Primary was normal for me, went through it, I was a bright child. And we moved from Nyeri, went to Thika when I was in class 3. No problem so far. I was still focused, still a happy, jovial child. And I finished my class 8, passed well. I was able to get 416 marks out of 500. Proceeded on to high school. I went to Sunshine Secondary School on Langata Road, which was then a very good school. By then they were in the top 10. I was enrolled in high school, Form 1. Now that's when life starts changing. Being a mono, Form 1, kuhandwa hapa na kule, lazima nikiadapt, kukonda kidogo. Form 1 went on well. Then at the end of Form 1, that's when my encounter with drugs, my first encounter with drugs. This was during a scout trip.
Okay.
A scout trip to Uganda in December. So that's when I first started experimenting with alcohol due to peer pressure. Friends are going out. The scouts master and the teachers are not really, because I think they're also out there having their own fun. It was also a vacation for them, so they're not really monitoring us. So we'd also sneak and go out. And wanting all that excitement, and because this is a new experience, so that's when I started experimenting with beer. And it felt good, having this buzz. Yeah, and after the trip on going back home, I didn't continue. It was just something to go and talk about when I went back to school. And all through high school, my academics did not suffer. But I always looked forward to these trips, which were 3. Well, the Form 1s, Form 2s, and Form 3s are the ones who will go. Because by December, the Form 4s will be done in school. So even in Form 2, the same. But now it was increasing.
Okay, let me just take you back a little bit, Jeff.
Yeah.
So, first time you experiment with alcohol is when you are in, you said Form 1.
Yes.
Had you seen this before? Had you interacted with people who were using alcohol before? And yes, just that first of all. Had you interact before this encounter that you're having? How was it at home? Were you guys who would go to church, or how was it?
Yeah, my parents were we go to church every Sunday. So I did see people who drank alcohol, but I knew it was wrong. I knew it was wrong.
Okay.
Even though my parents were responsible drinkers.
Okay.
Yeah. I never really see them drunk, but they'll go have their fun. But they're responsible parents, no problems at home at all. Very supportive. Yeah, and so...
But then you're saying you knew it was wrong. That,
yeah, I knew.
Back of your mind, you knew.
Especially underage drinking.
Yeah.
I knew that was wrong. By then, I knew it was wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. But this is all because of... All that I did was just because of peer pressure. Okay. Wanting to fit in, wanting to be a cool kid. Or wanting to be with the guys who seem to be the best in terms of... They're just the cool kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... That is why I'd want to go out with them.
Okay.
Because there are those few. There are those few who didn't indulge. Yeah, I was actually in the same class with Ernest Wamboe. Ernest Wamboe, he's very active.
Right.
In Sitam. I'm sure you know him.
I believe we most of us know Ernest. Sure.
Yeah. So Ernest was even in those trips. Even him was in those trips.
Okay.
But he did not indulge. He remained behind.
Right.
Yeah, so it was just a case of wrong choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
where...
It
was a decision you made.
Yeah, it was a bad decision that I made.
Sure.
At that time.
Okay, so Form 1, Form 2, you say when you went back home you didn't get yourself involved in alcohol, but then in school, back to the trips, it continues. Yeah,
so I would look forward to these trips at the end of the year, to indulge in the same again. With the same people, because it was a Scouts trip. So the same people we were with. So I would look forward to these trips at the end of the year. We will go out now. This time in a different country. In Form 2, we went to Dar es Salaam, and in Form 3, we went to Zanzibar. Yeah. So during these trips, we sneak out, go and drink. And that's where my journey with alcohol started. At that point, I didn't experiment with anything else. It was just alcohol. And then now, after finishing high school, this whole time you're looking forward to being an adult. So that now you can stop feeling that I'm an underage and I shouldn't be doing this. But now I'm an adult and I have the freedom now to drink. So after high school, since now the only friends that I had were mostly from my school, we would meet and go to Carnival, go out, drink. But at this time, I hadn't gotten to the point of addiction yet. It was just something I would do once in a while, maybe once in a month or twice, go out with my friends, come back home. There's nothing alarming at that point.
Okay. But by this time, had anyone in the family known that you actually had started drinking way back? Was anyone in the knowledge of that?
No. Actually, my parents, I know they're listening in.
Yeah.
And this will be a shocker to them hearing this, but they didn't know that I had started earlier on.
Okay.
I'm sure for them, they thought that I started after high school, but it started way earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so after high school, here you are an adult.
Yes, an adult. Now excited to live life. And now this is the period before the results. The results for KCSE are out. And I enrolled the next year, because we usually finish high school in November. So by the next year I joined Strathmore for a diploma in business information technology. This is before the results are out. And in the first semester, I was a bit focused. Yes, I will go out and drink, but I wouldn't skip classes. I will do this maybe on Fridays or over the weekend, but I will not miss classes. And then the results were out, and then because I performed well, I got an A-, I became overconfident. It got to my head. And I thought that it will be automatic, that I don't have to really read or try hard. So in the second semester, I started missing classes. Now
you're getting overconfident because you did well in high school.
Yes.
So you think it's going to flow automatically. I'm a sharp mind.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was misled. Unfortunately, that was my thinking.
Okay.
So I started skipping classes, going to hang out with the cool kids again. People who you think are cool kids, but they're really not. There's nothing cool about it. And that's why I also started experimenting with bang. Yeah, so napatana mahali tunaenda kuvuta bangi, kukunywa, and the frequency started increasing. The frequency became more and more over time, to a point where that's the only thing you think about. Unafikiria tu sherehe tu saa zote. There's nothing constructive that I'm thinking about, even my academics aside. By the time I realize nimehata cut, and those are the things, because you'd be able to, sometimes I'd be able to pass the exams, but ukimiss cuts na hizo attendance, your grades will still be down. Yeah, because they're very strict with the attendance. Strathmore was very strict with the attendance, and hizo marks za cut zenye nilikuwa nimemiss zikanieka chini. So even during the second semester, by the end of the second semester, my grades are bad. There were four units, and out of those 4 units nimefail kama 3. Moja peke yake tu ndo nimepass kidogo. Yeah, so it was a warning. That's when the red lights. Yeah, I get a warning from the university that the red lights they're flashing at me. Okay. Lakini mimi sitaki kusikia. Sasa hii ndio time sasa nimepatana sasa na wale wasee. Sasa ndo nimeanza kula life vizuri. The coolest of the coolest. Yeah, and because I think I had self-esteem issues when I was growing. So I really wanted to fit in. Okay. To be seen. I really wanted to be seen with these cool kids.
What do you think happened? That now that you say it, you think, now looking back, you think you had issues with your self-esteem. What would you think or say contributed to that?
I would say it wasn't really anything to do with my upbringing. Mm-hmm. It was just more or less that, especially being a boy, when I was a child, I was really small. Mm-hmm. I was really tiny. Like in my class in primary, mm-hmm. I was one of the smallest, even including the girls. I was so tiny. Mm-hmm. And you know how kids are, make fun of you about this and that. Okay. So it's affected my self-esteem. And
were you conscious of it then, or this is something you came to realize?
No, this is something I came to realize much later. Okay. I wasn't aware. Okay. That's the reason why I was behaving the way I wanted, the way I was behaving. Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. So because of that wanting to fit in, I'd do things not really for myself, but to be recognized. It's like looking for that, seeking approval or seeking to be recognized. And that's the reason why I'd want to hang out with these people who are doing these things and they look cool in the eyes of others. Mm. Yeah, that's the I'd say that's the root cause or the reason why I would follow these crowds that misled me into that life.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you're now an adult, quote unquote, going through school, and you feel like grades ziko na red lights, but no, my focus is not on that anymore. I better stay cool.
Yeah, lile itani hit for a while that my grades are bad, lakini when I meet with these guys again, napotea. Now it's getting to that point pale, and I'm not going back home. I'm now disappearing for 2 days or 3 days at a time. Pale I'll disappear maybe on Friday. Gets to a point where even Monday sijarudi. I call home nadanganya bado I'm still around the school. So my parents will think that I'm still attending classes even if I'm not showing up at home, because I would lie and say that I'm at a friend's place in the hostel who's staying around the school, of which I'll be there, but school is a rumor. Niko tu around shule lakini si ndani ya shule. Okay. Niko tu around the school.
Okay.
Yeah, so my grades ziliniletu the same third semester. This diploma was 4 semesters. So until the 4th semester, then now sasa napata niko na supplementary. Yeah. But I didn't even follow them through because I also got a girlfriend who was also into that life, who led me even deeper into that life. So I lost focus completely with my grades, with my studies. That was not my main focus. Yeah, so hata nikitoka tu home asubuhi with my books, lakini najua I'm not going to study. At some point, at least before nilikuwa natoka naingia shule, then natoka home naingia shule, then I'd leave. But now this time, at some point naweza toka home lakini hata sitaingia shule. I would go straight to my friend's place and just start drinking.
Okay.
And it became a daily habit.
All right. So by this time, you have managed to keep it from the eyes of your family. They have not gotten to know that you're actually indulging in alcohol?
They have seen. My parents had seen when they were actually worried. They'd seen the red flags. But it didn't seem really... Because at that point, the easy videos nakuja also, we also become very good at lying. I remember at some point I faked my report card. Nena na print vitu zangu nawapelekea. Then because they're so trusting, because of this person they've seen, they've known me as a good boy from high school. So they trust. They tended to trust. Because naona saizi wapelekea ile real. Yeah, so... I think during the third semester, because the second sem after kufail, niliwapelekea a fake one. Na wakaamini. Now the third semester, sasa ndio there was a concern. Only they even went to the school. They were called by the school because of my grades and my attendance. And that's when they got to know the truth.
Okay.
Yeah.
But had they like had like an encounter with... their drunk's son?
They had a few times, very few times. But I think at this point they were thinking, me being a firstborn, they were thinking that maybe this is just a phase that maybe every young person goes through. So they thought it was just a phase or a stage that I'm going through as a late teenager. So they thought just something I'm going through.
Okay.
Like every other young person. Yeah.
And that you get over it.
And that I'll maybe over with time I'll get my way back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're on these drinking sprees, who's giving you money to get all this alcohol?
Unajua sasa venye watu wa kampo wanafanyanga mnachanga. The little pocket money we've been given. Kale ka 400, ka 500, ka 300 umepewa. Unajua umejipanga, unasema nitakula 50 bob. Chakula hapo ni cheap. Fare nitatumia 150. So ingine unajua mkichanga so ama wanchwani
you buy something,
mnaweza nunua mzinga.
Okay.
So that's then you share. So that's what used to happen. And then you find also pia wale watu kwa hostel, they have they might have a bit of money because wanapewa pesa in lump sum. Yeah, so hawezi kosa. You can't, with a little that you have, hamwezi kosa ya kuindulge. Yeah, which hiyo pesa ningesave ningekuwa na pesa mingi sana by now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so ni kuwest at some point unapata nimekunywa mpaka fare za kurudi home. And that's how I end up even sometimes not going home. But you're high and you don't have fare. So you just end up spending at a friend's place. It's just a miserable, embarrassing life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So by this time you said you have started you have begun experimenting with marijuana or bang.
Yes.
And?
Sasa bangi unajua kwanza zikishika sana, especially the first times, you lose track of time. Unapata umezubao, umezone out. That's why you find even time has gone. It's even too late to go home. Can imagine now niko hizi pande za Strathmore. Now and I have to commute all the way to Kiambu Road to home. So unapata now with especially that combination of alcohol and bangi zimeshika sana mpaka I can't even go home. Yeah. So this continues. So I was not able to complete that diploma in short.
Okay.
Yeah. I was able to go through the 4 semesters, but I had a lot of supplementaries.
Which you didn't want to take?
Which I didn't want to take.
Did you have a chance to take the supplementaries?
Yes, I did.
But you were not willing
Yeah,
to take
I wasn't really focused. My focus is elsewhere.
Okay.
At the same time, I was also convincing myself that this is not the cause I wanted to do. This is not what I chose. So I'm waiting after the results are out. No, the universities usually call the students a year after.
Okay.
Almost a year after the results are out. So after my diploma, I went and I commenced actuarial science in the University of Nairobi. Yeah, so now joining University of Nairobi now, my parents thought since you're doing something that you chose to do, I will be more focused. But the same habits that I had developed now are in me. So now and then now this is where I even find some of my high school mates.
People who used to...
Yeah, now people I used to indulge with in high school and whom we had formed a bond. Now we've joined campus together. And so, yeah, the habits continued and became worse. Sasa hapa ndio pia hapo started smoking cigarettes. Na nikaanza fegi, nikaanza kuchana pia, nikaanza jaba.
That's Mira.
Yeah.
Or cut, for people who may not know.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So pia nikaanza kuchana, that's where I started. And obviously, even in these public universities, with the attendance, it's easy because there are many students. It's a public university, so there are these halls full of students. It's not really easy for the lecturer to track if every person is attending. Yeah, so since mko wengi unazambia tu mtu fulani akusainie. So now this is where I'd miss even more classes. Yeah. And now get even deeper into alcoholism, get deeper into bangi, get deeper into cigarettes, get deeper into mogoka. And at some point sasa ni zote pamoja. You can imagine vile kichwa iko ikimekwa hizo vitu zote at once. So that became almost a daily trend. Yeah.
And all this time you're still liking it. You have not gotten to a point where you feel like maybe I should not be doing this.
No, you see, you also see when you're young, you also have a lot of energy. You have a lot of energy to burn out, and that time is not really hitting me. That time is going, time is moving. So I was just really caught up in this bubble that it's all about fun. Maisha tu ni happy peke yake. Yeah. So I'm just, the thing about these drugs is that they affect even your long-term thinking, not only at that moment, but even your how you plan for the future. It also affects that. And once they're into you, once you're addicted, you're not only even when you're sober, you're not thinking straight, because what they do is that's all you think about. All that you think about, even in the future, unafikiria parea Friday itakuaje. That's all you think, instead of thinking of how you can better yourself in future. Those are the things that I'm focusing on. So nikaendelea tu na that same trend, na ukiwa hivyo hakuna venye masomo nizingia kwa hiyo kichwa. Hiyo kichwa imejaza hiyo moshi yote na hiyo and all that alcohol. Hiyo kichwa hizi shika kitu. So I failed again.
First semester?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, first semester actually I didn't fail all the units. I passed most and failed a few. But in the second semester is where I failed almost all the units. Because unajua nachukulianga they take all the units at the end of the year, after the 2 semesters. The public universities have that was 2 semesters, not 3. So by the end of the year, I had, if you have failed a number of units, you have to repeat the whole year. Okay. So I had failed more, and I had to repeat the whole year again. Wow. So I repeated the year. Same trend, lakini after repeating the year, nikaweza kupass.
Oh.
So
what happened? What changed?
Ni kimungu tu, hata sasa there's nothing changed because my habits are still the same.
Okay.
Yeah, now this time I even nikasema nitakuwa rastaman, nikaweka dreadlocks.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked very funny. Okay. So nikaweka dreadlocks. Sasa nikakuwa mvutaji bangi kabisa, yeah. And then now my parents thought that if I move to the hostel, maybe I'll be more responsible. Of which that was the complete opposite. Sasa ndio venye saa nikaingia hostel pale wa MCA. That's when my habits got even worse.
Okay.
Nikaingia even deeper. Imagine I'm just I can walk to class, lakini hiyo darasa hata sioni. Yeah. At some point now, I'm now even losing touch with my friends, my classmates. Because now even if they're indulging, at least they have that balance. They have a balance between their school life and their social life and their high life.
Okay.
Me sikuwa na hiyo balance. At some point now, they're the ones even calling me to ask me where I am. Because sasa ni saa ya cut and I'm nowhere to be seen. I'm not in school, I'm not in class. Niko tu kwa hostel na after banki.
How Ebu tell me, how would a day look like?
For me, a day, I'd wake up, then the first thing I will do is light a blunt. That's the first thing I will do. And you see, the thing about bang, it makes you procrastinate. You'd wake up, you have all these plans on how your day is going to go, what you're going to achieve. But the minute you hit those few puffs, kila kitu ulikuwa umepanga, then it makes you optimistic in a foolish way.
Okay.
Au unasema tu nitafanya baadaye, kila kitu kitakuwa poa, naweza fanya hii time, si lazima nifanye sahi.
Okay.
You just become lazy.
Yeah.
So, and that's how my day will get messed up.
Okay.
From the morning. So, and I wouldn't want to go far. Nikishavuta tu hiyo bangi stai kwenda mahali, nataka tu nikae kwa hostel and maybe just nikienda mbali pengine inatukwa duka buy a few cigarettes, lakini nguvu ya kwenda kwa liquor store utapata. Sina ya class.
Yeah.
It's so unfortunate. So through that second year sikupass again, nikafail tena. So now this time my parents are very disillusioned, they're so angry with me. Nikatolewa hostel, sasa nimerudi home.
Okay. Just hold it right there, Jeff. Wow. Thank you for joining us, and I appreciate Jeff for coming and for sharing his story. We have a couple of comments, several people tuned in across social media at Hope FM Live, and I believe we have some comments as well on our WhatsApp 0717400555 and 20933. If you have a question, comment, please drop it right there, and we'll be having a look at it later on. But right now, I want to bring in Tiffany Wamboy with the latest in the news world, and we'll be back in a few.
Hope FM. It's now